And we're done. We're ready. Okay, gotta just make sure I am streaming all the other places because now I've been doing it so often. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing now. All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the abacus, but this time we're gonna talk about the abacus and the Common Core standards. The reason why is because I keep saying that I'm going to do this comparison, but I think we need to do is we need to really understand how it all works. So before I do that, I need to share in the group and then share it again. Okay, so before you, so if you don't know, my name is Miss Lynette, or my name is Lynette. I teach abacus. I teach abacus to children and adults, apparently, because everybody really enjoys abacus. I have been teaching abacus for more than 20 years. I have an school that's in Monterey Park. If you guys are ever in the neighborhood and you wanted to have your children learn about the abacus, come on down. We're located at 440 East Garvey in Monterey Park, California, Monterey Park, California. And what we're going to do is we're going to just talk about the abacus. This is the abacus. Hopefully you can hear me. I made sure that we talked into the, yes, okay, good. So this is an abacus. This is a counting tool. This counting tool, what it does is it tracks the numbers that I have. And it's really quite interesting when we start to go through. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand how to read the abacus. When we read the abacus, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. All the lower beats has a value of 4. And then we have 5. The top beat has a value of 5. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we have 10. Well, how do you know that this is 10? Well, just as we write, when I have my dot indicator, this is my indicator that tells me the ones. This is the ones indicator. Because I have my ones indicator here, anything to the left of the column is the place value of 10. Okay, so we have 10 and we have 0. So now we have 10 and 0. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then we have 15. Notice it's kind of the same. So if we know that this is the value of 5, this would be the value, this would be 50. How do we know? Because we have our 10s and we have our 0. We have our 10s and we have our 0. So we have 10, 20, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then because I don't have any more columns, I don't have hundreds. But if I moved it to this way, then I have 900. That is a little bit about the abacus. And I know I am just talking about how to read the abacus. Let's switch to a student's abacus. So here's a student's abacus. The student's abacus is smaller. The reason why is just because that the teacher's abacus is meant to be in a classroom. So because it's meant to be in the classroom, it's bigger and it's supposed to be horizontal, right? So it's easier to see. Because if it was lying down, it'd be difficult for the kids to see. So let's change to our student's abacus so it's easier to manage. And also the teacher's abacus is kind of heavy, and I would rather just do that. All right. Put that. There we go. Oh, okay. So there we go. We have our abacus. And again, it works exactly the same as the teacher's abacus. With the teacher's abacus, we have with the student's abacus, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Because we have the value of 5, we have 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, okay, what's going to happen is, what happens if we don't understand what the 5 is? Well, what's the interesting thing about it is I have money. And it's really interesting how I was able to figure this out. So this is a nickel. If I don't know where you're located in the world right now. I know, internet is getting the world to be smaller. But what we're going to do is, this is a nickel. This means that it's 5 cents. This is where I'm in California, so I'm in America. And in America, we have a thing called a nickel. A nickel is worth 5 cents. So what I was looking at it, 5 cents would be the top bead. And if you notice, I cannot break it, right? So if I add the 5, that's what it looks like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1. All I need to do is add a penny. Add 1 penny. That's 1, right? And then add 2, and then that's 2. So we have 5, 6, 7, and then we have 8. Now we have 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 cents, right? 1, 2, 3. So together that makes 8. And then we have 9. That is 9. So that's a little bit of correlation on how money and the abacus works. And it's really quite interesting. And I think because using it this way, it's interesting to see how it all relates to everything. Yeah, that was a really good find. Yes, this nickel. So then we can go into adding and subtracting later on. But what I want to do is I want to review a little bit about the Common Core. So here, if you look, the Common Core, one of the things about is this is the grade kindergarten. I don't even know why that they do that, but grade kindergarten overview. So know the numbers and the names and the sequence of and count the sequence. Well, we've done that, right? We did that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. We know that every bead, every column has a value, has a place value. So when we look, we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and then 10,000. When we look at it, every time we write, it looks exactly the same as how we write. When we write, let's say we're 10. This is 10, so we have 10. We have our 0 and our 1. So, good morning, Janet. Let me know if you have any questions about the abacus. I'm just going to continue on and understand how the Common Core and abacus relates to each other. Let me know if you have any comments. So that's about this. Okay, count to tell the number of the objects, which is kind of, I think, the same thing as called subitizing. So what are we going to do is if I did this and I moved the beads, I moved all 4 beads to that means this is 4. So it's kind of easy, right? We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, or we have 5. This will always be the value of 5, no matter what. Okay, what's next? Compare the numbers. Well, we can compare the numbers. I mean, if we look at this, this is 9, and we compare that to this is 2. Well, which one is bigger? Well, 9 is bigger. That kind of makes sense, right? It's comparing. Ooh, let's see. Okay, so we can compare. So we can see that one has more than the other. Okay, that's easy. So here, understand addition as putting together and adding to, and understand subtraction as taking apart and taking away from. We know this. Okay, so what we're doing, adding on the abacus. Adding on the abacus, what does that mean? Adding on the abacus means that we're going to this horizontal bar. This horizontal bar is going to track our numbers. Hello, Leanne. Welcome. Welcome. Surprised to see you here. All right. So, hey, good morning, Alyssa. How are you? Good morning. I am so happy you're here. I was just reviewing some Common Core standards. Let me know if you have any questions and we'll go right into it because just wanted to, I told myself that I was going to review the Common Core standards so we could see how it all relates to each other. So this one was the operations and algebraic thinking, understanding how to add, putting it together. So when we put things together, we do 1, 2, 3, putting it together. We're putting 3 together. As we put 3 together, and it has to touch the horizontal bar. Because it touched the horizontal bar, we now count it. Now, how do we do understand subtraction as taking apart? Well, we can take it apart, right? If we have 3, we want to take apart, we have take away 2. We want to take away 2, we're breaking it apart, we're taking it apart, we're removing it away from the horizontal bar. So that's showing the children the algebraic thinking on an abacus. And that's really interesting. I'm surprised I would talk about that. So then when we have 9 and I want to take away 5, I'm going to take away 5. I'm going to break it apart. Is that breaking apart? I guess that would be. We're breaking it apart. So we take away the 5. And then we have 4. Notice that we're taking it away from the horizontal bar. Because we're taking it away from the horizontal bar, that is considered subtraction. Okay, so what's the next one? Work with numbers 11 through 19 to gain foundations for place value. Oh, that's easy, right? How do we know what 11 is? Well, we know when we have 9, this is 9, and now we do 10. We notice that 10 looks like this, right? This is our ones, and then this is our tens. If 1 looks like this, if I just move it to this side, 1 looks like that. So now if I do 11, we have this. How do I know? Because it's 1 and 1. And then we have 2, and then we have 3. We have 13, and then 14. How do I know? Because I have 1 here, and then 4 here. 14, and then 15. Again, the top bead has a value of 5. Because we have 5, we have 6, and then 7, 5, 6, 7, 17, and then 18, and then 19. So that's easy. Okay, so that's foundational. All right. And then measurements of data and describing the measurable attributes. Classify objects and count the numbers objects in the categories. Okay, maybe we don't do that. All right. So that is about the kindergarten overview. So again, we're going to continue on with KCC. KCC. I believe the abacus goes up. Oh, I'm sorry. I believe the abacus goes up and beyond the Common Core standards. Oh, I appreciate that compliment. Oh, that means you're going really well. Oh, because you're here. And there's always a replay. But you know what? I was thinking about this. Remember this is a nickel. So if you're having issues with the 5, you can use a nickel. So what I was looking at it and I was like, wait a minute, we can do something with the nickel, we can do something with the money. So we can have the 5, that would be 5, if that makes sense. So what I just did was I related the top bead with the 5, and if I want to add one more, then I add a penny, and then I add one more, and then I add another penny. So we have 5, 6, 7. So now we can count 5, 6, 7. So yeah, that was kind of like a woo. That would be good, but I have to figure out how to like add it to the class. I'm not sure how to add it to class, but that was the one thing that I kind of like was going through. Good morning, Beals. Good morning. So then I was talking. Oh, so did that make sense, Alyssa? Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, I was like looking at it, I was like, huh, there's a lot of correlation to this. Anyways, so we have 5. So if I want to add the 5, I have 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. And then I have 9. So, I mean, it's a little long, but at least it makes sense. Yes, it does, right? So then the question is, I don't know where your child is with the 5, but you could, if you're having problems with the 5, right? Say I want to add 4, right? I have 4, and I want to add another 4. I want to do 4 plus 4. If I want to add another 4, right? So the question is 4 plus 4. I just came to this too. So so that's why it's a little bit, it's not in the class, but I'm not sure if you need it. And I haven't figured that part out yet. So if my question is 4. Here. My question is 4 plus 4. All right. So let's say I go to the store, right? I go to the store and I have 4, right? Okay, so I have 4. This is the 4. But I go to the store or whatever and I want to add another 4. But wait a minute. I only have 5 cents. Is there a way to trade? So what I can do is I can give you my 5 cents, but what's going to happen? Well, so you're going to give me 1 penny back. So then I can get 8. I wonder if that works. I haven't figured out the story behind that yet. But that was that like it starts from like trying to figure out how to relate money with, and I thought this was a great idea. So then my answer is 8. So instead of learning doubles, we learned how to do the um what do you call it? The formulas. I wonder if that's gonna work. But yeah, so it's like a trade. That's what it is. We're trading because I want to this is where I see trading happens. So if I have a nickel and I need to give it to you to purchase something, I haven't figured that one out yet. I'm going to give you the nickel, but 5 is too much. I need change. So I'm going to take away with 1. So that's what I was thinking. All right. We are going to continue on with understanding the Common Core. We have know the numbers and the counting sequence. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you want to, we can work some two-step equations. It's up to you. We can do some two-step equations, or we can do more than 2 steps, like 3 and 4 steps. um, so what we're going to do is we're going to count to 100 by ones and then tens. Well, that's kind of easy. So I've been binging on your lives. I like your pattern of teaching. You start off with how to read the abacus. You create the mazes and then go to addition and subtraction. Yes. You know, thank you so much. I've been really trying to figure out a better way to present myself. And so I think because I think it's just one of those things that to be able to get everybody on board first before I start going into adding and subtracting. So what I do in my lives is I try to go through as much as I can before I get tired, because it does get tiring. But the idea was to educate the parents, and I really want to do is I wanted to really get the parents and the teachers on board, and I know that's my obstacle. So not everybody's going to know what an abacus is. So I need to show how to read the abacus and how easy it is. That's the one obstacle. And the next one is to like show how we can relate the formulas, how we can rate the formulas. But thank you. I appreciate that. It's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey. I've been having a few people that's interested in more of my worksheets and not the classes, which is fine too. Because some people want to teach on their own, which is good too. But I mean, that's why I have the another one, right? So that's the other thing. And here, I love to do more two steps. To show I sent an email to show you my process with, can you do this problem again? I didn't see that email. I will go check. But we can do it right now. Oh, you know what? Maybe we could work with the numbers. We can work with the, okay. So we have 40, we have 7 plus 7. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand how to add the 7. 47. We have 47 on the abacus. Let me move it up a little bit. Hopefully that's not confusing. Okay. So what we're going to do is have 40, we have 7. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 7 here. We know, okay, I'm going to ask you a lot more questions, right? So what my question is do we have enough beads to add the 7? When we look at it, and then that was the other thing. When we look at it, on this one, we want to add 7 here. Do we have enough beads to add the 7? And I know there's going to be a delay, but it's good because I think because I know I talk really fast and I just kind of go boom boom and people are like, I don't know what you just did. So it's good that I have feedback and to be able to get this related. So my question is, do you have enough to add 7? If not, how do I add the 7? So I know my formula. We know our formula is what? Oh, yeah, no, I did that. I gave that to you. Right. So I know my formula is 7 plus 10 plus minus the 3. I know I do not have enough beads to add the 7. So I need to, just by looking at the polynomial vision, you could tell right away it's a two-step. When I look at your addition chart, but yes, can you, yes. Thank you. I look at your addition chart problem, the two-step problems are color coded. Yeah, I try to color code it. So here we have 7, right, is equal to plus the 10 minus the 3. We understand this. So, but notice I cannot minus the 3 now. I'm sorry, I cannot add I need to add the 10. Sorry, I'm playing around with my camera because I feel like I want more light. So that's how we determined that we need to add a 7, right? We need to utilize a 7 because we want to do plus the 10 and then take away the 3. Well, so now remember the one question you had was, why do we say, yes, because the 5 is utilized. Yes, because the 5 utilizes the ones place. The 5 is not being utilized. There is no, that specific concept, there is no add the 7 is plus the 5. There is no, what do you call it? Like 5, there's no 5 pairs in a 7, if that makes sense. So what's going to happen is there's only one set of formula for the 7, and it's only going to be plus the 10 minus the 3. I don't know if you remember the one question you had was, why do we do minus the 3 plus the 10? This is the reason why. This is called commutative property. Property. Now, why are we doing this? Because we want it to be flexible. Yeah, okay, good. So before I forget, I'm going to go through some. I'm just looking for my other papers. This is the one. Right. So what is commutative property? Commutative property, commutative property is when we take the property. Oh my gosh. Okay. We take the property of addition states. But in abacus, we're kind of finagling it a little bit, right? Because we also have a minus, so we're kind of modifying it a little bit. So cumulative property is the addition states that changes the order of the numbers being added. It does not change the sum. So for us in abacus world, this makes sense to me. Why? Because I can change it this way or that way, just as I did here. I can have the plus 10 minus 3, or I can have the minus 10 plus the 3. The reason why is because in abacus, when we look at our add-ins, this is what changes the process. This is what changes the process. That's why this commutative property needs to be a little bit modified. I don't know who made this question or this property, but it is what it is. So in abacus, this makes sense to me. So then what we're back to 47. When we add when we want to add the 7, I don't have enough beads to plus minus the 3. So I can plus the 10 minus the 3, but I'm going to forget, right? I'm going to forget. So what I want to do is I want to minus the 3. Let me minus the 3 first so I don't forget. And I'm playing around with my camera. So the first thing I need to do is I want to minus the 3. Why do I want to do that? Because if you notice, I cannot minus the 3 here. All right. So I cannot minus the 3. To minus the 3, we know we're going to minus the 5 plus the 2. We know this. Why? Because the question is, if I cannot minus a 3, what else can I do? In our world in abacus, right? We know when we minus a 3, there's two sets of equations. One is minus the 3 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 2, or the other one is minus the 10 plus the 7. Now, how do I know which one to do? You always start with the 5 first. And that's what it is, yes. So you always start with the 5 first. So I want to minus the 5 and I want to plus the 2. That's what I did here. These are directions. I want to minus the 5 and then plus the 2. Now I can go into my bigger question. Not in my tens question. It's not a bigger question. I can now, when I'm done with the ones, I can now go to my tens. Do you see how that, did you see how I did the two-step? So what are we doing right now? We're going to be adding the 10 because that's what we need to do. We need to add the 10. When we add the 10, remember when we add the 10, it just means to go to the next column. So we're using the 10 as a place, we're using the 0 as a place value. What? What does that mean? Right here. So we did the 3, I'm sorry. We did the minus 3, I'm sorry. We did the minus 3. Yeah, I'm doing, yes, yes. See, and that's why I really like going live because then I can practice a little bit because it's hard to do this in a vacuum. But now with people commenting, just as you have helped me so much to explain this so much better. I do appreciate everything that when you comment and you understand. It makes it better for me to try to explain it to me. You know why? Because in the abacus world, we don't have that feedback. We don't have the feedback of trying to teach adults. We always usually just teach children. So when I try to teach adults, it's different because we learn it a different way. I'm doing it differently than you did your less. So if you notice, right? If you notice, You use the 10 as a place value. I know this is 0. I know this is 1, right? This is not 10. This is 1. We're going to use this as a placeholder. I wonder if that makes sense. So what's going to happen is, if you notice with this, I want to plus the 1 here, right? I'm not looking at the 0. Now I'm looking at the 1. That's what I'm going to do. Question is, can I add the 1? I can't. I cannot add the 1. What do I do? You know how to do. You know. You know how to do this. How do we add the 1? That was beautiful. Plus the 1 is equal to plus the 5 minus 4. So what am I going to do? I'm going to plus the 5 and then take away the 4. No, you can't. You can't add the 1. Yes, exactly. So then we do that, right? Oh, that's beautiful. That's what I need to do. That's what I need to do. I need to cover up the 10. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's beautiful. Why? Because as adults we get confused. We have too many things in our heads. So it's, if I can show it to you as bluntly, as obviously as possible. I'm trying to show as obviously as possible. As obvious. Does that make sense? I'm trying to show it as easy as obvious. I think it's as obvious. I don't know. But it is. Yes. All right. Fantastic. That makes sense. So we can do another one. There was another one I did. I think we did. I think we did another one. There's a whole bunch. Let me. Oh, it's the wrong one. Let me see. Yeah. No, there's a whole bunch. There's more than that. We can do. Okay. How are we doing on the adding? We can do subtraction too. But we can do this one. I mean, but you'll start to notice that there's a pattern. You'll notice that there's a pattern of the numbers. Yes, please do another one. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm happy to do this. I am so happy that you're here. So you know what? We'll do something smaller. We'll do 16. 16 plus 6. Actually, we don't even need to do 16, but that's fine. We do 16. So we have 1 and we have 6. We're going to add another 6. We don't have a bead, we don't have any more beads to add a 6. So when we look at it, we want to look at this specific one, add the 6. Cannot add the 6. So what do? We know our formula, plus the 6 minus the 4. We know plus the 6 is equal to plus the 10 minus 4. We know this. How do we know? So if I line it up, right, this is horizontal. When I line it up, I'm going to make it vertical. When I make it vertical, you take it as each column, right? As each column. I don't even know if I can do that. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Is there enough to minus the 4? There's not enough beads to minus the 4. So what do? I need to minus the 4. Minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. So if I look at it this way, right? If I look at it this way, there we go. If I look at it this way, I need to minus the 4. To minus the 4, I need to minus the 5 plus the 1. And then we want to add the 1. Can we add the 1? Yeah, we can add the 1. All we got to do is just add the 1. And there we go. Oh, my answer is 22. Sometimes I notice that it can get confusing because there's too many columns and we don't know where to focus on. So that's why I have like some pages that, help me isolate what I'm doing. I don't use it, but I do it for demonstration. And if it helps, I can make a template so then you can utilize it. Uh, yeah. So what I did, one of them is the one isolating one is like this. The reason why I did it this way is so then we can expand it because that's when we do the plus 10. And notice when we do the plus 10, we're only adding a 10. That's all we're going to do. Nothing else. Yeah. We can do another one. Let's do another one. Okay, we could do, you know what? Oh, you know what? This is my favorite. This is my favorite one. The reason why is because you can, the reason why this is my favorite one is because you were asking for it. It was 5 plus 8, right? We did 5 plus 8. Sometimes I want to go, let me go in this one. Sometimes I want to merely go over to the next column. So I need to use yes. Yes, that's exactly what it. Oh, let me see. Here. There was, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. There was something that I did and it was now I gotta find it. Let's see if I can find it. I did a chart and I think this would help. Let me see if I can find it. That wasn't it. Here. Let me know if this helps you. Because if it does, then what I could do is I could send this to you. And so what I did was I put a little checklist. So this is what the Abacus framework is. This is exactly what the framework is. Here is the framework. I'm still like, anyways. So here's the framework. The framework is there enough beads? Is there enough beads? Then you add the beads. I guess what I should do is I should do the number 4. So here's 7, and I want to add 9. I guess I should do 4 instead. 4 would be better. So the question is do I have enough beads? No, I don't have enough beads to add the 9 because I want to add the 9. So can I use the 5 bead? Yes? No. Right? I cannot use the 5 bead. Yes. I would. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, let me send that to you. Yeah, and it's just a checklist of like how to do it. So then from here, right? Here, is there enough beads? No, there's not enough beads. Then what you do is then you use the 10 bead. That's when you go to the 10 bead. So what we're doing is we're going to plus the 10 minus the 1. So we plus the 10 and we take away the 1. So my final answer is 16. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just easier to, because that's how I see it in my head. And that's what I realize what I need to do is I need to document a little bit more. And so so just so you know, I was making I was making a an abacus introduction to abacus for adults. That's what I actually started making. That's why you see like the mazes and stuff. And so the mazes you saw was 2-digit, and then I have another one which is 3-digit. I just finished the 4-digit, and then I'm gonna have 5-digit with decimals, and it's just a bunch of numbers, and you just have to find the maze. You just need to follow the maze. That's what I'm working on right now, as well as trying to get the books out the door. I do have like 3 or 4 that I'm coming through. It's just one of those things like going live has really helped me, has really sparked like doing this and going live as well as talking to you has really sparked a lot of creativity to get more abacus driven worksheets and activities so it's easier. Hello, Audrey. Welcome. Yeah, I do enjoy going live a lot. But I do plan going live a little more. But I do have this one planned out for my students. This one is specific for my students. So I do appreciate, Alyssa, that you join when you can. Okay, so we have so that's what I have like in the pipeline. But yeah, and then Oh, and then I have this. I don't know if you saw this. This was going to be part of the adult worksheet as well. Whereas we look at how to add the five, how to make a five. So we make the five, and this was more for adults, right? We have our formula, which is 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. It's not going to be erasable, but maybe I do make it. No, it won't be erasable because it's going to be a printable. And then here is what we need to do is we need to isolate the 3. When we isolate the 3, why are we going to isolate the 3? Because the question is 4 plus 3. So if the question is 4 plus 3, we need to isolate the variable. This is what we're trying to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the 3 by itself and then subtract from each side. So if I do 3 equals to 5, notice it's not balanced. So because it's not balanced, what we're going to do is we're going to minus the 2. That's why we subtract the 2. So you can rewrite the formula, which is the same. And that's what that means. So this is another worksheet that I'm providing for my the introduction to abacus for adults. That's what it is. So yeah, going back to this one, I do have one for addition and I do have one for subtraction. Oh, thank you, Audrey. Really? Thank you. It was just one of those things, like I kept doing the same thing and I was like, you know what, there's got to be a better way. So, and then I'm trying to find a way to laminate it and then sell it as a laminate. Yeah, so that's like it's products. There's a lot of products coming through. I just can't figure it out. So Alyssa, what I'm going to do is I'll give you the subtraction as well. It's the same thing. Subtraction is exactly the same. It's just opposite, right? So is there enough beads? Yes, there is. Then subtract the beads. No, there isn't. Then can you use the -5? Yes, you can. Then you do -5. If you cannot, then you do the -10 and then you just do the formula. That's it. That's everything in a nutshell. Everything of adding and subtracting is all right here. Yeah. Anytime, anytime. And it scales, but it just depends on where you are. It's like Tetris. You know how Tetris is, right? Tetris is like you have a block and you try to figure out how to put it in. It's the same thing. Abacus is the same thing as Tetris. Yeah. So we can do another two step. Oh. But you'll notice it only happens to some of the numbers. Um, so we could do, yeah. It only happens at some of the numbers. I kind of, I kind of did that when I emailed you. Yes. Okay. Really? Okay. Um, so let's see. Can I do this one? um, if you notice, it's really just the same numbers. It's the numbers, if you notice, like, okay, you know what? We'll do this one. We'll do 48. We'll do 48. I sent a picture of my process when I was working on the problem. Okay, I'll take a look at it. You know what? I'll do that right now. I didn't realize. Did you just send it or has it been a while? Like, did you just send it this morning? Now I'm curious. Curious. So curious. So let's see. Conversations. Oh, oh, that happened yesterday. I'm so sorry. Okay, two-step. There we go. Ha 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 ha. I sent it. Oh, I sent it last night. Okay. So it wasn't completely off. Uh, yes. How do I wonder how I can save the image. Yes. Perfect. Hold, please. I'm going to put it up. Yeah. Thank you for this. Okay, so we have that. All right. No, hold, please. Sorry, I don't like this one so much. Okay, sorry. I was just looking at my questions. Download. Here we go. And then we're going to flip it. There we go. And then let me share it. Let's see if I can share it. Okay, so window, this one. There we go. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so the problem is a two-step. Yes, this is a two-step. 1 plus 5 minus the, yes, minus the 3 plus the 9. Is there enough beads to add? No. Can we use the plus 5? Yes. Are there enough beads to add the 1 to the tens? No. Can we use substitute the minus ones with the friends? Yes. Ha ha. There enough beads to minus the 3? No. Can we use the exactly? That's exactly what it is. And then plus the 3? Yes. Exactly. And that is the process. I don't know if you see that. That is exactly what it is. That is fantastic. Well done. Well done. I'm scary. Now that's exactly how I think though. Oh, I don't know if I said that. That's exactly how I think. No, that's not right. That's not right. There we go. There we go. That's exactly how I think. So this is fantastic. And this is a lot of what do you, like written. So this is fantastic. This is exactly what I said. Yeah. Oh, so we can do a few more. We can do a few more. Let me go back to this. There we go. Okay. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So let's do 26. We can do 26 plus 6, right? 26 plus 6. I mean, it can get really hairy after a while, but it would be the same thing. So we have 26. Oh, we can do 100 next time. It's not this, it's all the same. So we do 26 and we add the 6. Is there enough beads to add the 6? So is there enough beads to add the 6? Plus the 6 is equal to what? Plus the 10 minus the 4. So I'm going to plus the 10. I'm going to take away the 4. So there we go. There we go. So we do, can we add the 6? No, we can't. So what we're going to do, we're going to plus the 10 and then minus the 4. When we minus the 4, right? When we minus the 4, what are we going to do? That's what we're going to do. This is how we do it vertically, right? The vertical, right? What we need to do is we need to minus the 4. The question is can we minus the 4? No, we cannot minus the 4. Minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. So I go to minus the 5 and I plus the 1. All right, so now what? Now we do the 1. Can we add the 1? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, right? So all we got to do is just add the 1. That's all we're doing. And that's a two-step. That's a two-step because it's this one here that gets substituted, right? Yeah. But see, the thing is it's just about practice. Oh, you know what? Okay. It's just about a lot of practicing and how to make things work. So, I had a few others where I found. Um, excuse me. Let's see. We can do another one, and then we do like even like what is it? We can do this one. You know what? Let's do this one. Oh, it's not the same. Okay, okay, we'll do this one. Okay, so 9 plus 5. Now this is a little bit more, but it's the same because we know it. We all know it. When we do 99, 99, and then we add 5. We want to add the 5 here. Okay, this is where cumulative property affects, right? Cumulative property. What does that mean? 99 plus 5. I want to add the 5. Cannot add the 5. So my question is plus the 5, right? Plus the 5 is equal to plus the minus the 5 plus the 10. So I want to minus the 5 so I don't forget. So I'm going to minus the 5, and now I need to plus the 10, right? I want to plus the 10. So I already minus the 5. Now I need to plus the 10. When I plus the 10, right, what am I doing? I'm going to add the 10 here. Do I have enough? Right? So this is where can I add the 5 come into play? No, I cannot add the 5. Right. Oh my gosh. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Right? So what we're doing is, no, we can't. So then that's where can we add the 5? No, we cannot add the 5 because we're utilizing it, right? We're adding this one. It's this one. So now the question is, can you use the 5? No. Yes, all the beads. Oh, yes, you're right. All the beads are being used. So if all the beads are being used, what do we do? Well, what's another way to plus the 10? I'm sorry, what's another way to plus the 1? Plus 1 is equal to plus the 10 minus 9. Again, I can use cumulative property, minus the 9 plus the 10. Why? Because I don't want to forget. So I'm going to minus the 9, and I'm going to plus the 10. So I need to change that out. Where's my... So that's what we did. That's what we did. We're going to minus the 10 and then plus the 1. So again, we're going to minus the 9. I'm sorry, minus the 9. So we minus the 9, right? That's what we did. And then we need to plus the 1. Can we add the 1? Yeah, we can add the 1 now. So all we got to do is just add the 1. That's it. So we used every number, every step. You take it into one step at a time. As you go one step at a time, then you can see the next. It's like shining a light, right? You focus on one step and you go to the next one. So my final answer is 104. But it's exactly the same. The process is exactly the same. We just solidify it more and more. And the reason why is because we're constricted to the abacus, we have this process that we need to do, right? So it's different than having a blank sheet of paper. The sky is the limit. Cumulative property works, but my brain is yeah, yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. I understand that because I felt the same way, and my brother and I, we were talking about it, and he got really mad. He's like, "Why are we teaching it this way?" And then I started going down the process of like going through this whole uh mainstream math, and then I started realizing it's like we actually do it. We just need to be more flexible. So that's why we don't have to say plus the 10 minus the 9. We should say minus the 9 plus the 10 and be more regular about it, just as we do this. So yeah, exactly. I need to do both options. You have two options available to you. To keep it in your mind, right? It's the same thing with the plus tens. We teach the kids, reverse. So we have to add that as well. That's called, what do they call it? I think they call it number fluency. So we want to minus the 9 and then plus the 10. I need to see both options. Yes, exactly. You need to see both options because because abacus the method of abacus is to try to make it into manageable chunks. I did it because I don't want to forget. Right? So, I think this helps with critical thinking. It does help with critical thinking. It helps with critical and analyzing too, right? Can I do it when, you know what I mean? So it's critical thinking and analytical. It's just one of those things that it comes with the process. Whereas in mainstream math, you don't do any too much critical thinking. You only do it later on when you go into like algebra and when you go into bigger and when you go into later parts of math. But in abacus, we actually introduced it a lot earlier. Just like we introduced counting on, we introduced, adding zero. So that's the thing. And it does come with practice. Yes, exactly. It does come with practice because when I was growing up, we didn't learn it this way. I didn't learn it this way, right? So it's harder. It's not harder, but it takes a little bit more work to see it that way. So just so you know, like I learned abacus when I was 30 years old, and I taught my kids. So my kids can see a lot, right? Because they don't know anything else. They just know that, they could do whatever. But for me, I have to break some of the habits that I've encountered, and I have to reassess, if that makes sense. So I am trying to say now minus the 9 plus the 10. I'm trying to get that into my vocabulary so I can remember, oh, I can minus the 9 first and then plus the 10. I'm trying to bring in the math terminologies so I can relate it to mainstream math, like commutative properties and distributive property. And there was a whole bunch of others, like isolating the variable. We never talk about that in abacus. The other one was substitution. We don't say substitution. We just say put it in. You know what I mean? And so going down this path, it's just interesting how everything kind of just relates to each other. And so I don't know if you know about like when we get into, let me know when you're ready for multiplication. Well, no, we can do it right now. I'm so glad you did the sheet that shows both ways of the formula. I'm so glad you did the sheet that shows both ways for the formula. Oh yeah? Yeah, in the beginning it was a little confusing. But no, I appreciate that. And it's funny because it's like I didn't know why I needed to, but now I know why. And I found the words for it. It's just funny. But no, I do appreciate your question because it was like, why did we do it? And it was like I was trying to find many ways, and this is the reason why. Because depending on like where our numbers are, we want to be able to not we don't want to be restricted to one way. Is this for the adult book? Yeah. So, yes, I was planning to do this for the adult book and I'm still in the process of it. So, I was going to have it as a worksheet like this and then you would fill it out and then have the minus. I yeah. So, and then with the worksheet it would be going faster, but um and then there'll be like one or two mazes to just do some number recognition, but then there's going to be a whole separate book. So then I'm going to have a whole separate book for doing 2-digit puzzles. All it is just doing this. And then I have another separate book that does 3-digit puzzles. And then I have another separate book that does 4-digit. And then I have another one where if you wanted extra work for adding and subtracting nines, the family, I'm going to make that into another book too. But it's going to be really, it's going to be kind of, it's going to be boring. There's no activities for it. What it will look like is just, so my next one that I'm coming down the pipeline, it's just going to look like this. Um, it's just going to look like this. So I have another book that has like 100 pages of practice the 9, practice the 4, practice the family. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to publish that out. I have a lot of worksheets. I'm just scared. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm scared to publish it out. I'm nervous because I don't think anybody would like it. But then what's the problem? You know what I mean? Like, but I that's just something that because yeah. So yeah. I'm having a few books that are going to come out. And I was going to tell that. Oh yeah, you saw the email. So one of the emails was the 2 digit puzzle, and then the 3 digit puzzle, and then I have a 4 digit. I just finished the 4 digit, and then that was in the process of making the adult version of the abacus, introduction to abacus, because I started to, as because of going through lives, there's a lot of people that was very interested in learning abacus just for themselves, and I'm like, really? I honestly thought it was only for kids, which was, yeah, I honestly thought it was just for kids, but adults really seemed to very be interested. That's why I started doing it. That makes sense. Okay. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get the 5 and the minus the 10 book. I do have a few students that are already going through minus he's gonna start minus 10 really soon. So I gotta work on that right now. Um when I so I'm, That's also a priority. It's just, yeah, there's just a lot going on. But it is still one of my priorities to get the minus 5. You know what it is with the minus 5 book? It's formatting. I think that's what it is. I think that's what's stopping me. It's the formatting. It's a mental block for me. I get mental blocks about publishing my books, and I don't know if that sounds weird or dumb, but I'm scared. So yeah, you're right. I need to. You know what? I will publish the minus the 5 and the minus the 10 book before everything else. That's what I will do. That's just something I need to do, um, because I need to make sure that it's all out there and I have that curriculum. And then after that, there will be the two-step problems, and after the two-step problems will be multiplication. That's the path, and then whatever comes in between will come in between. So, yeah, you're right. I need to do that first. I'm just scared. To tell you the truth, I'm just scared. I don't know why I'm scared to publish. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things. Okay. So it is 10 o'clock. I want to appreciate your time and honor your time, and thank you so much for commenting and being here with me. I do appreciate it. And I'm going to start these lives with going through it. Thank you for all you're doing. It's okay to be scared. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. No, thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, you're right. I will work on the minus 5 and the minus 10s. It's just one of those things. I got to get over that. And I will publish it, and I'll let you know. And then when that's ready, then there'll be the bundle, and then when you get the bundle, then it'll be better. It'll be good. So, thank you again. I do appreciate your time. I now will end this one. But I do go on live pretty often. But again, it's whenever I get tired, or whenever I go on. But this is the scheduled for us, so I do appreciate it. Thank you, and I hope you see that I'm trying to make sure that my students are are answered, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do appreciate it. So I hope to see you next week, if not earlier. But this is the scheduled one. Thank you again, and have a good day. And I will work on that. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'll just do it. I'll just publish it out. You're right. Okay. Have a good day. Bye. And